Hello, my friends. This is Rusty Waller. I'm the chair of the Institutional Effectiveness Committee. I'm also the director of the Teaching and Learning Center. I thought that it might be beneficial to develop some digital record of the first meeting of the IE Committee and to share it across the institution so that you will understand who we are and what we're about. The IE Committee was established by a resolution from President Hassan. The committee is made up of representatives from across the institution. It includes faculty, it includes staff, it includes administration, a wide range of constituencies to see that the interests of the institution as broadly represented are addressed. The committee is charged with oversight of the AURAC evaluation process, and this will be about monitoring first our compliance with SACS COC. As you may be aware, AURAC is in the process of applying for candidacy for accreditation with SACS COC. Now, the Southern Association accreditation is a very prestigious thing. It will be a benefit to the institution, will be a benefit to the students, and if it is benefit to the institution and benefit to the students, then it will also be a benefit to you. I do encourage you to be very positive towards this event. This will be a good thing for AURAC. It will be a good thing for you. It will be a good thing for students. And we all want to be part of a family, to put our best foot forward, to do our best thinking to make this endeavor successful. Also, the committee is likewise charged with establishing a meaningful evaluation process. We might ask which of these is the most important. Well, they actually go hand in hand. We don't make any apology for pursuing Southern Association accreditation and compliance and complying with their standards. But likewise, we want what we do to be a meaningful evaluation process that truly helps to improve institutional quality, both in administrative practices, processes, and in student learning, in the outcome, in the assessment of student learning outcomes. The agenda for the committee was very simple. We had a welcome. We discussed our purpose as established by the resolution, and also our purpose in really trying to establish the meaningful evaluation process that will work in this institution. We did not get to the discussion of the subcommittee alignment. We will do that at our next meeting. But actually what we're going to do is to try to establish two subcommittees to work with instruction and work with administration, so that we can best get down to the grassroots level of causing this process to be successful. We established a future meeting date and time, which will be on Thursdays at 1 o'clock. You're certainly invited to attend. We always have an open forum, and then we adjourn the meeting. Now, before we end this video, I want to take a minute and go through the presentation that I gave the committee. It is a very detailed presentation, but it is to give you a holistic overview of what the SACS criteria is really all about, so that we can establish a methodology to best apply evaluation processes here for the improvement of all aspects of the institution. The heart of the discussion with the IE Committee centered first around the discussion of the SACS Core Requirement 2.5. The SACS accreditation standards are generally divided into major sections. There are core requirements, comprehensive standards, federal requirements, and so forth. The core requirements are the very heart of accreditation. They are the absolute must things that have to be done, and core requirement 2.5 is extremely important. The core requirement looks very easy because you just read through it and the institution engages and so forth and so on. But it's very possible to read this without understanding the meaning of the words. The institution engages in. I focus on the word engage and then the word institution. The engage reminds me of when I was a young man and got engaged and all that it got me into 36 and a half years of marriage later. Well, that's what this is, engaged. This is, we are engaged, and we are engaged as an institution. We will be in an ongoing process. This is not something we do for a little time, get accreditation, and cease doing. This is forever. Integrated means that it is interactive. No one lives in their own little silo their own little castle, their own little building. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It also means that when we have a survey that we do, for instance, in Institutional Effectiveness Office, then that survey is utilized in other places to measure quality and for improvement purposes. Institution-wide, again, means that everyone participates in this. You can run, but you can't hide. You're part of the process. Research-based means that it's established on data and information that are fairly and justly collected. You will notice that there is a planning and an evaluation processes. There are planning and evaluation processes. Planning refers to the forward visioning. That's your strategic planning process. There's a strategy and planning committee that oversees the strategic plan and looks down the road for the forward allocation of resources. And the evaluation process will be overseen by the Institutional Effectiveness Committee, and that will be the assessment of quality. We will vision our future and we will evaluate our present to ensure that we're doing what we say we're doing and to build a system of continuous improvement. The SAC standard refers to process is. This is a plural word, referring that you have both planning and you have evaluation. These must incorporate a systematic review. Many of us may think we have a system, but to have a system, we need a broad-based committee oversight. We need committee meetings. We need minutes. We need agendas. We need a process defined in a handbook. We need to produce documentation of what we have done and do it in a systematic, cyclic manner. And I will show you that in a moment. So incorporate a systematic review of the institutional mission, goals, and outcomes. Both planning and evaluation are about the mission, goals, and outcomes of the institution. They must result in continuing improvement of institutional quality, and they must demonstrate. That means that if we do not document it, then it didn't happen as far as this standard is concerned. It is up to us to produce the evidence that shows that we're in compliance with this standard. We must demonstrate that the institution is effectively accomplishing its mission. This is all about the institution's mission, how we plan in support of the institutional mission, and how we evaluate our quality in support of the institutional mission. Now, in order to understand this, I want you to see the global picture just a minute. The LRAC vision, mission, and goals, values, and objectives are fundamental to us. That's what it's all about. Everything reports under that, whether it's strategic planning, institutional effectiveness, or institutional research. Now, institutional research is the foundation. The standard said research-based. That means that it's driven by information and by legitimate data. The strategic planning process is about planning and forward visioning. The institutional effectiveness process is about evaluation. The institutional effectiveness process evaluates all programs. That means that we evaluate all the operation of all major units of the institution. You may evaluate HR, see that HR evaluates itself. We may see that the Dean's office evaluates itself. We may see that the library evaluates itself, that the Teaching and Learning Center. So we're about those evaluations, but we're also about the evaluation of student learning outcomes by programs. And the role of the committee will be to document the process used by the programs to bring about the continuous improvement of student learning. Now, the institutional effectiveness process runs into strategic planning in regard to budget. Both institutional effectiveness and strategic planning are linked to the budgetary process. You may be a little bit more familiar with the strategic planning process. It developed the vision, mission, goals, values, and objectives of the institution. Those were, in my opinion, were very well done, and they were then subsequently approved up through the process, even to the Board of Trustees. Now, the institutional strategic planning process is a 5-year cycle. Each year, we have activities that we do in support of the vision, mission, goals, values, and objectives of the institution. you will probably be somewhat familiar with the term 5-year action plan. The strategic planning process established the vision, mission, goals, values, and objectives of the institution, and then each unit of the institution established a 5-year action plan, and even this year we'll be in the process of updating those plans to make them fit the new strategic planning process. And all of these years flow into each other, and then the process begins again. The 5-year plan has an annual review to identify budgetary implications and an annual review to determine which of the activities have been completed, which of the activities are in progress, and which of the activities need modification. But this is the planning process of a URAC. This is the thing that was up on the upper left that we called strategic planning. Now, the Institutional Effectiveness Committee is a process that goes through on an annual cycle. In other words, where strategic planning is a 5-year process, the effectiveness process is annual. And in the annual process, we link ourselves to our mission and goals, we develop component outcomes, we establish evaluation criteria, then we conduct the evaluation and we determine how we will use the results to improve. And then we start the next year. Budgetary implications of institutional effectiveness process are shared every year with the Strategic Planning Committee. Now, I want you to look at this one more time. We'll run it briefly so that you've seen how complex it is. Listen to the power of these words. The institution engages in ongoing, integrated, institution-wide, research-based planning and evaluation processes. Powerful. Every word has meaning that incorporate a systematic review of institutional mission, goals, and outcomes. That's what it's about. Planning underneath our mission, goals, and outcomes to forward position the institution, evaluating our mission, our performance under the mission, goals, and outcomes of the institution to evaluate our quality that we might continuously improve. These things result in continuing improvement in instructional quality and demonstrate, they document, they produce evidence that the institution is effectively accomplishing its mission. I hope you got a handle on this. This is a very, very, very complex process. Just wanted to take a moment to sum things up. The IE committee is launched on a tremendous task. It's one which we need your help. The pursuit of Southern Association accreditation is of value to all of us. It is something that all of us want to be part of, that we would want to put our best foot forward in. We are a family. We either hang together, or as Franklin said, we shall certainly hang separately. Let's work together on this, and don't get discouraged that the system is very complex. We will make it doable. We will break it down in component pieces. And remember, of course, the old Chinese proverb that anywhere is walking distance if you have the time. We will get there one step at a time. You have a good day.